Howdy, 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 my name's Anashi Sasuke, and welcome to Prequel, or Making a Cat Cry, the Adventure. So this is the comic that, one, I was, as of yet, not able to find a way to ask the creator if I'm allowed to do this. And two, what was that thing? This person, I believe, came from, well, let's just check the about. So there's a story on the internet. It has been called several other things too, including Making a Cat Cry the Adventure, Everything is a Federal Fucking Issue and Also Trying to Make You Feel Miserable, Katia Manigan, Alcoholic, Vassilicphobe Adventurer, and Select Cat Adventures 2, Daggerfall. All of these names are equally descriptive and accurate. More specifically, it is an interactive story where readers serve as the protagonist's subconscious. It was inspired by the user command model employed by Microsoft Paint Adventures and is based on the Elder Scrolls universe created by Bethesda Softworks. Softworks? I always thought it was software. Though familiarity with either of these is not necessary to understand Prequel. Prequel began as a forum thread on the MS Paint Adventures forums, but has since been moved to its own site for readability. You're reading that site right now! Thanks, and I hope you enjoy reading my story about an alcoholic cat who hears internet voices. That is a sentence I thought I would never type. And then there's the thing for commenting about it. So this has been running since 2011, March the 12th. So I'm about a month off from the 7th anniversary of it. Dang. But this is another one of the comics that I used to read as soon as it would update, and then it didn't update for like a year, and I forgot it existed. But thanks to the Prequel fan page that I do follow on Facebook, I was able to see that there were updates. I just didn't read them yet because I didn't remember what was going on. And I decided that since I didn't remember what was going on, I would start from the beginning and do a let's read of it. But now, seeing as one of the things that it was called was Everything's a Federal Fucking Issue, obviously there's going to be cursing and some adult themes in it, but just about everything I cover on my channel has cursing and adult themes in it, including my actual day-to-day way I talk. So, today is the beginning of the new you, as the ship goes away and her tail twitches. 1 month ago, you made yourself a promise. You're going to turn your life around. You were going to get a real job, stay out of jail, and not get into any more trouble with cults. Nobody thought you could do it. They said your questionable reputation, lack of any useful skills, and flagrant alcoholism would always hold you down. But you had a plan. You were going to start over, far from home. You pawned off your belongings, withdrew the rest of your inheritance, and narrowly managed to buy your way onto a merchant ship bound for Cyrodiil. And now you've arrived, alone and penniless in a foreign country. Rounding up to the nearest week, you've been sober for an entire 7 days. This is your chance to be whatever you want to be. Whoever you want to be. You think you'll start with a new name, something less ethnic, maybe suitably imperial, to fit into your new home. Enter name. Tudor. No! There's something far too royal about that name, something that strikes fear into your soul. Thanks to Codfish. You've never understood why kings scare you. Maybe it's those crowns. Jagged rims glistening with like a dozen metal teeth burst forth from their skull, a vestigial maw seeking to devour any so unfortunate to find themselves upon it. Maybe it's their clothes, an ocean of sparkling purple silk dragged behind them like the vicious tendrils of an unholy carnivorous plant. Maybe it's their very expression, the way it oozes that solemn, dutiful dedication to their country. Scare might even be too weak a word. Dukes terrify you, as do princes, counts, and barons, but kings, queens, emperors... You don't know what you'd do if you ever found yourself face to face with one. Probably curl up and cry. Doesn't Oblivion start with you coming face to face with a king? Oh, jeez. You used to have recurring nightmares where you were trapped in a small dark room with a king. There's no way out, no one to help you, and he just stands there, being a king. Luckily, you've mostly taken care of your nightmare problem through heavy self-medication, though you guess self-medication became the bigger problem. Plagarath wrote, Katia Manigan. Immigration forms? Let's see now. Katia Manigan name, species Khajiit, sex female, job no, favorite color? The name sounds pretty cool though. This name sounds pretty cool though. You like the way it rolls off your sandpapery tongue. You jot it down and hand the immigration form to the guard. The guard says you can keep it if you want. They don't actually keep track of immigration and he only brought the form because you asked. He's just gonna throw it out. You tell you don't care. This has symbolic value to you. It makes your new life feel official. He obliges and accepts the document. Not many people out here. Everyone must be inside. Looks like there's some shops near the dock. One appears to be a general store, the other some kind of restaurant. Let's check your skills. The Codfish wrote, check your skills, your trade skills. Just what can you do anyway? Your trade skills? You always get a little uncomfortable when the T word pops into your head. Suffice to say, your childhood was not full of encouragement, your adolescence was not full of employment, and your adulthood has not been full of success. Each one sort of led into the next, which is to say, nowhere. That's still a boop. Sorry, it's one of the things you're hoping to fix in your new life. Someday you'll be good at something, or even just adequate at it. It would make you so happy. But for the time being, you're pretty much worthless. I mean, you know, a pretty interesting party trick involving a yo-yo and a pineapple, but it's not appropriate for most parties. Crazy 8 wrote, Katia, visit the store of pots filled with shitty wands. Star-Karsker. Or is it supposed to say store with an RX on it? You think it's supposed to be a bag of swords, but you're not sure. It's pretty much the worst sign you've ever seen, you can barely read it. If you need some quick cash later, maybe you can offer to redesign it. Wiz Robert wrote, find a job as a maid in the restaurant. Droke wrote, to the restaurant! Though you can't buy any food, maybe you can chat with the locals and get some free food if you're lucky. Right now, however, your best bet for steady employment seems to be the restaurant. And hey, you're still a Cyrodiilian now, may as well get to know the locals. You head in. This place is pretty nice, you guess. Sort of homey. The proprietor is some kind of elf. There's like a billion kinds of elves. You can never keep them straight. He welcomes you to the flowing bowl and asks if you would like to see a menu. Accept a menu as you ask for any jobs you can do. Good idea, Frosted Warlock. Let's see, slab of ham, slab of venison, slab of bread, ale, mead, wine, good wine. This is definitely a menu meant for sailors. I guess that's what you have to expect at a port town. It's all out of your price range too. That is to say, nothing is free. Oh, look at the little talky mouth. But you're not going to let that bring your spirits down. You compliment the elf on his... something in my eye. On his fine seaside establishment and alluring menu. Then clumsily segue into how you were broke and looking for a job. Maybe he needs a maid to clean up at the end of the day, or a waitress to serve tables, or someone to do both for the wage of one. Him and his brother managed to handle all the chores around here, he explains. There's not really any need for a third employee, no matter how many jobs she's willing to take up and how little wage she was willing to accept. Between the two of them, there's more than enough manpower to keep the food cooked, sailors fed, and table spotless. You have a sneaking suspicion they aren't actually brothers. You've been a Cyrodiil for all the 15 minutes and your ambitious dreams of starting anew are already feeling a bit shakier. You confess that you didn't plan ahead very well and are in dire need of employment. Is there anyone in town who might need some menial labor? You're willing to learn new skills? You're just scared and alone and just need a place to sleep and a way to put food on the table. The gay elves explain that many trading ships come through this port. If you have any valuable possessions, you may be able to sell them for a good price. If you don't have any valuable possessions, well, maybe someone else will need a maid or something. You can ask around. Your only possession in the world right now are the clothes on your back and this lockpick you found on the floor of the ship. You have no idea how to use a lockpick. Quickly steal the cup and get out of there! Excuse me, but part of your plan was to stay out of jail this time. And you don't really think a tin cup is going to play a very pivotal role in what you hope will be your rags to riches story. Though admittedly it would effectively double your wealth. Sleeping Orange wrote, or go find a guild of some sort, I guess. Maybe magic is cool. You can't be a wizard. Wizards have long, flowy beards. You assume it's a prerequisite. Odiip wrote, ask the elves what they are still doing here. On your trip here you heard that an emergency elf summit was happening on the island that it always happens on in a few days. You asked the elves why they're not at the emergency summit on Elf Island. Isn't that where elfy elves have to go? In retrospect, your tone was probably a little too aggressive. They were told that there's a sale on Fancy Feast at the Imperial City. Shouldn't you be headed that way? Cat jokes always cut you deep. That burn was so sick it lit the candle. Damn. It made slightly worse by the fact that you really would like some cat food. These gay elves are racist fucks and you don't want to talk to them anymore. Maybe you'll go check around for a bulletin board offering jobs or ask that store owner if you can redesign his sign. You could probably try to sell your clothes, but that would just leave you with no pockets to hold your money and lockpick, and you'd probably get arrested for public indecency anyway. Or maybe you can forget about the whole keep a good reputation thing and go find a party where you can do the pineapple check. Oh hey, that lady with the bottle is yelling something incoherent at you. Maybe you should reply or just walk away very quickly. I guess we're going to reply. Shadow of the Lotus wrote, approach lady but feel nervous over possibility of having to refuse alcohol. Prepare by drinking liquid courage. Droke wrote, reply and approach the crazy bottle lady very cautiously. How could this get any worse? Your special day can't get any worse, you figure. Time to do something stupid. You cautiously approach the crazy bottle lady. She heard you were new in town. Yes, you reply. That's cool, she says. She was new once, too. She didn't really know what to do with her life. And she met some nice people in robes who gave her food and a place to stay and something to believe in, but she's not supposed to tell you about them. That's okay, you say. You don't want to know. She appreciates your non-pryingness and declares you to be her best friend. She takes another swig and goes off on a tangent about how she left the peas on her plate because peas are the worst fruit. She's not entirely sure they're a fruit. She says you can have them if you want, but you say you're not hungry. You also point out she's still waving a knife at you. She apologizes and says she just knifes people. You look thirsty, she says. You should have some of this awesome wine. In fact, you have to have some. It's just that good. You nervously try to explain that you're a recovering alcoholic and have the booze tolerance of an anorexic 6-year-old, but your new friend insists that you're just pussying out. Pussy, pussy, pussy. She asks again if you would like a drink. Frankly, you would love a drink right now. Also, she has a knife. Grayscale Scavenger wrote, explain that no, since the wine is so good you would not wish to be so cruel as to take any away from your new friend. Slowly back away out the door, smiling and waving nervously. Shadow of the Lotus said, offer to demonstrate your special skill. You've had tons of practice learning to drink off of knives. And Dorksower wrote, tell her that you were a much better drunken crazy cultist back home, then offer her some lessons. Viscia wrote, take the bottle, smash her head. Your mind is filled with cunning plans and heroic maneuvers. A brave person wouldn't be afraid to stand her ground. A skilled person will find a way to turn the situation to advantage. Unfortunately, you were neither of these things. You abscond the... What did she say? Meow. You abscond the fuck out of there and find a place to hide. Okay, you're pretty sure she's not following you. Katia, talk to that guard. Bitsy wrote, wait! That's it! Ask the nice guard man if there are any open slots for guard duty. You will most likely be given gear, a guard's cabin, money, and probably food. And, of course, a place stay with the guard. He's the only friendly face you've seen in this damn town. Make a huge, cute, adorable cat eyes if he refuses to give you info. And then cat face. After spending the last several hours cowering behind the guard, you decide that this is an opportune moment to inquire as to whether you can join the city watch. You explain that you don't have any experience and have never held a weapon in your life, but you have the willingness to learn new things and will work very hard. One day, you say, you'll be the best guard. What do you think? The guard looks at you with a troubled, uncomfortable glare, like that of a man who must explain to his paraplegic daughter that her dreams of becoming a ballerina will never come true. He struggles to find the softest words, some gentle way to let you know that you're not exactly what they want in a guard. You're scrawny and unintimidating. Nobody will ever say, hey, you should consider joining the guard. They just don't need you. Your astute senses pick up on his internal struggle. It's time to up the ante. Oh! Maybe you could be a guard, he says. Usually guards are tough and brave, but sometimes there are exceptions, perhaps. If you work hard enough, you could accomplish your dreams, whatever they are. He doesn't have the authority to accept you to the guard, though. You have to go to the castle and speak to the countess. Suddenly becoming a guard doesn't sound like a great idea. Kendall wrote, promptly meow to the guard, and awkwardly shuffled to the general store, trying to hide the fact that you are so scared and your eyes are the size of dinner plates and you really need a litter box. You don't really want to invite any cat jokes? You don't know if your fragile ego can take it right now. May as well check out that store, though. You enter the store with a terrible sign. The owner welcomes you to Layla's quality merchandise. He invites you to look around and offers to answer any questions you might have. Katia, cast a fireball! We've been through this already. You have no wizard beard. You don't think it's biologically possible for you to grow one either, at least without magic. It's a catch-22. The boy wrote, I have no money! Shadow of the Lotus wrote, Katia, compliment the store and segue into how it's a shame that such a wonderful store lacks an adequate side in the match. West Soul 27 wrote, ask for any job opportunities. You excitedly say hello to the nice man and explain that you have no money, but you wish you did because the store is very nice and appears well stocked. It's probably a lot of work running the store all by himself, and you would be happy to help if he needed it. Did you mention you were broke? Sorry if you already mentioned that. Also, it's a shame his wonderful store lacks an adequate sign to match. What is wrong with my sign? Lil says he was just joking. He didn't mean to scare you. Please come back. He knows the sign is not very good, he tells you. He's been meaning to replace it and even bought a new blank sign. However, he doesn't want to ruin this expensive new sign with his abysmal handwriting. He's been hoping to run into someone who's willing to help out. This is exciting! You should be excited, but your eyes are stuck on that damn bottle he left out in the open. Your mouth feels dry. You really want some alcohol. Katia, show your penmanship. Resist the urge to drink liquor and show your penmanship. What were the other commands? Offer to demonstrate your artistic talent on the back of the old sign. Penmanship? You're the best fucking pen in Cyrodiil! Lel admires the illegibility of your handwriting, though he actually needs the sign engraved and thinks the flowers and smiling heart might not be reaching the store's target audience. Maybe you could just carve Lel's quality merchandise in fancy letters? It'll give you maybe 10 septims if you do a good job. That should be enough to get you a good meal and a night at an inn. You accept. You spend the following hours toiling away on the wooden sign using Lel's tools. You know this has to be your best work. This little sign will be the first thing you are known for. This is your first step in the right direction. You put your heart into every letter, polishing every curve and serif to perfection. Once your engraving reaches the pinnacle of artistic quality, you carefully dab a fine coat of white paint into every letter. It's beautiful. By the end, your arm is cramped and your eyes are strained. But you don't care! You've made something good and you're going to reap the benefits. Time to show Lels. He comments that your handwriting is good, but you misspelled merchandise. No! See if you can fix it somehow. You also realize that regardless, it is far superior to the original sign. Wait, you say? Maybe you can fix it. It's still much better than the original sign, so maybe people won't care about this one little mistake that you shouldn't have made it. Oh god, it looks so stupid. Why did you do this? You're just making it worse. Now even people who don't know how to spell will know you made a mistake. Your tears fail to magically fix the sign. It's okay, Lels tells you. You tried your best. Your best just happened to be slightly worse than everyone else's average. He figures he can still use the sign, though people might think he's kind of dumb because of it. You say you're sorry, and ask if there's anything else you can do at all to make it up to him. He says no, he thinks you've done enough. You should go now. But you think you deserve, but you do deserve some compensation for your hard work. You'll happily assess less than 10, you say, maybe 8 septims? Oh shit, no lady. Lel's got a business to run here, and Lel's is all about quality. He'll give you 1. Whatever. You take your payment and leave. It's cold and dark outside. Maybe 1 septim is all you're worth. Maybe everyone was right after all. You thought maybe if you went far away, you could leave it all behind and make something of yourself. You tried as hard as you could and have a single coin to show for it. Lels was right. Your best just isn't good enough. You feel terrible. All you can think of about is how wrong you were. How you ruined everything. You head back to the flowing bowl. There is exactly one thing you can afford right now and you need it badly. Alcohol's only 1 septim? Dang. Sneaky Robot wrote, Sudden resolve! You will not be railroaded into the despicable life that the narrative seems bent on putting you in. You made 0 septims yesterday, and you made 1 septim today. If you continue at this rate, you'll have 28 septims by the end of the week. Find Simply is free to sleep for tonight, even if it's just the sidewalk. You'll show them. You'll show them all! Ewar wrote, It's time to make an investment in becoming a criminal. Because let's face it, you're a massive failure, so you might as well start stealing from successful people. Vizia wrote, Pay 1 septim for a good hug, because, of course, so that you can pickpocket him while he isn't looking. You are in no mood for heroics. It's been a terrible day, and right now all you want to do is bring some little spark into the happiness into your otherwise bleak life. Shadow of the Lotus wrote, Water or ale? Water or ale? Don't give up hope yet! Settle for water tonight. You appreciate the encouragement and promise your next septim will be towards something productive, but now it just isn't the time. You're sorry. You give the elf your coin to ask for whatever alcoholic drink that can buy. You ask him to water it down a bit, please? You don't want to get wasted. You just want to drink enough to forget what a failure you are. You're apprehensive to succumb to your addiction, but you know you'll feel better afterwards. That's what matters right now. Maybe tomorrow will be better. If you could renew your spirit. Maybe if you bring back that feeling that you can do anything, then quitting again will just be another simple challenge to surmount. Things will be better. Then things will be better. You'll make sure things are better next time. You're sorry. Bottoms up, you guess. Oh. I was just practicing writing the word merchandise. You fucked up. Assess the situation. Let's see. Frosted Warlock wrote, Orc be named up. Malky Top wrote, Find his and her tattoos an embarrassing area. That is a majestic unicorn, but I wonder what that paint is. Well, he has a tramp stamp, but you'll need to find a mirror if you want to check yourself. I mean, maybe he already had that one when you met him. Candell wrote, Try to find clothing, then figure out what that stuff is in the bowl. Cash? Oh yeah, and ride away on the unicorn. You have no idea where your clothes are, but this appears to be a fishbowl of peas. Evidently the fish couldn't breathe peas. They truly are the worst fruit. You consider riding the unicorn, but to be honest, you'd be kind of embarrassed to be seen on it. Are those flames on the side? You're pretty curious what it's doing here, though. Examine the sword. That sword isn't coming out. You might be able to pull out the arrows, though, but without your clothes, you don't really have anywhere to... Sec? Why does it just say sec? Okay, you still have your lockpick. That's good, you guess. You think it's time to skip town and start over again. But let's examine that book first. The final Wraith wrote, "Examine book also. Please tell me that's purple paint and not something worse. What else would it be? This is Cat. Everyone loves her because she is the hero. It's her. Cat can do anything. She is so cool and she has all the friends and something. It's purple paint, yeah. It looks like you tried to write a book last night. You can't really bring yourself to read past the first page." The final Wraith wrote, "Check under the bed and make sure the orc is still alive." The orc is breathing. That's a good sign. You peek under the bed. Is that a pineapple and a yo-yo? Oh gods, it is. So much for a good reputation. The final Wraith wrote, "You have access to both bedsheets and claws. If you can't find any clothes, why not make some? Even modesty is no concern. Getting arrested for indecent exposure is so embarrassing." Or even if modesty is no concern. You attempt to tailor the bedsheet into clothing, receiving an unpleasant reminder that you have no trade skills. You really should find some clothes, though, before someone shows up. As the unicorn just backs away. Examine ladder. What ladder? Oh. Does the ladder go to a public place? If not, go there. The unicorn is now eating the peas. It's not a ladder, it's a chair nailed upside down to the ceiling. It's stuck there pretty well, too. You think that's all there is to say on the matter. The only way out of this room is the door, well, or the second story window lined with broken glass. Name taken, wrote. I almost wrote it all well. Nabataken. Screw it, it's been like 7 years. Your name is Nabataken. You're a little bit afraid to wake up the orc. I mean, you know nothing about him besides the fact he's twice your size and apparently threw a sword through the wall, and that he has a tattoo. You nabbed those arrows, though. The final Wraith wrote, "Also open the dresser, the bowl of peas is resting on for clothing." You check the dresser. Just your luck, empty except for a folded piece of paper you can barely read. Armok wrote, You're good, dark vision." Oh right, you almost forgot you could do that. You switch on your dark vision. "Dear self, buy more clothes, heart me." Katia, take book. You take the book out. You did the book as well. You might have written something embarrassing in it, and you don't want this to get out into the world, so you also take a piece of glass. It might be useful for later. Viscia wrote, "You take the... wait, you forgot to turn off your dark vision!" Okay, wow. You take the book and slip a shard of broken window in there for good measure. You don't know what kind of horrible secrets you wrote in that book. If it's anything too dark, you might have to stab yourself for reading it. The final Wraith wrote, "Cat, despite your horrible day and the situation you're in now, you didn't actually start crying once. Feel mildly proud of yourself for this accomplishment." Hey, that is pretty cool. Maybe things are finally turning around. You just woke up at a strange place with a strange man and you haven't cried once. I mean, the blood doesn't count. That was a legitimate mistake on your part. Sneaky Robot wrote, "Try the other rooms in this building. If you refuse to be creative enough to clothe yourself in here, then maybe there's suitable fabric nearby somewhere on the other side of that bedroom door. Yeah, your cloth working experiments haven't been turning out well." You peek out into the hallway. Shadow of the Lotus wrote, "Also, can you find paint? Would body paint be enough to go outside?" Best idea! Wait, no, this idea was retarded. Why did you do this? You could have just wrapped the tapestry around yourself. You hope this paint is washable. You hear a door being unlocked downstairs. This is probably a good stopping point for this episode. So, this has been Anashi Sasuke. This is episode 1 of Let's Read Prequel, or Making a Cat Cry the Adventure. In the next episode, we'll see what happened with the unlocking door, I suppose. And again, if anybody who watches this, like, reads Prequel and knows how I can reach the guy who made it, I believe his name is Kazrad, but I might be wrong. The Twitter doesn't seem to be useful, and I don't think the comments will help me either. And I've already started doing it, but I figure I should at least, like, point out, like, hey, I started doing this. If that's bad, I apologize. But If you liked it, a like and subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you don't need to do either one of those things. There'll be a link in the description to the comic. If it turns out that the person has a Patreon page, I guess I'll put that too when I find it. And I will see y'all in the next one. Later.